Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I got my blue shirt on today. It's Diego, ready for your K1 Visa live stream. I got pixie dust all over my shirt. It's here, Diego, ready for your K1 Visa live stream. Free advice on how to process a K1 visa, process a green card, get your spousal visa, get your tourist visa. I'm here. Yesterday, I had a connection problem with YouTube, but everything is working perfectly fine today. So I'm jumping back on here to continue where we left off yesterday with the K1 Visa live stream. Now, it's almost Thanksgiving, so we're all going to be happy and thankful for what we got right so far. I know I am. Karina will join us on the Wednesday live stream. This is a surprise live stream to make up for yesterday because we crashed and burned. It wasn't my fault. Okay, it was an internet connection problem, I guess, but everything's rocking and rolling now. So if you have any questions on your K1 visa application, your green card application, if you need help with a tourist visa, do you need help on changing your address? Do you need help filling out a work permit? I can help you with a work permit. You don't need an immigration attorney, okay? An immigration attorney is going to cost you thousands of dollars to do this. It's too much money. Now, I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give you any legal advice. I don't work for USCIS, but I got 10 years experience doing this. I've helped hundreds of people get their green cards, get their K1 visas, etc., spousal visas, as long as you qualify. You got to qualify for the benefit. Remember, this is a benefit, not a right. Nick Alejandro, greetings, my fiance finally got her K1 visa appointment for December 10th. Any tips for the interview? Okay, remind Nick, what country? You got, well, first you get a Mountain Dew salute, thanks to Larry Piercy. You get a Mountain Dew salute, Nick, for getting your K1 visa appointment scheduled for December 10th, which is just around the corner. Mountain Dew salute, but what country? Give me a heads up on the country. Remind me. Any tips for the interview? Well, yeah. Dress business casual. Relax at the interview. Don't be stressing it. It's not like they're trying to stop you from getting your K1 visa. They want the immigration officer, the consular officer wants you to get your K1 visa. Okay, your beneficiary. He wants you or she wants you to get it. So you got to be relaxed when you go to the interview. Does your beneficiary know everything about you? The immigration officer is going to ask questions that pertain to your relationship. How did you meet each other? How did you start your relationship? How long have you been together? When was the last time, Mr. Sponsor, you saw your beneficiary? When was the last time you were with each other face to face? How many trips have you made to whatever country it is we're talking about? Is it Colombia? I think it could be Colombia. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Dress business casual. Be ready for questions about your relationship, how it started, where you met each other, how long you've been dating each other, how many times have you been to meeting each other, when was the last time you saw your beneficiary, how much money do you make, what is the job you have, Mr. Sponsor, what job do you have, what do you do for a living? The consular officer is going to ask your beneficiary possibly. I got all this pixie dust on me, guys. I don't know where it came from. They're going to ask, what kind of job do you have? How much money do you make? Etc., etc. And that's right. Dakar, Senegal. Now I remember. Dakar, Senegal. No problem. Just make sure also you bring that your beneficiary brings pictures to the visa interview of the last time you were together. When was the last time you were, together with each other? Did you take lots of pictures together? Bring those pictures to the visa interview. Egieri Martinez, buenas tardes. Un abrazo enorme desde Bogotá, Paula y ella. Egieri, gracias para tu grande abrazos. Now, tú es muy grande, hombre. Tú es grande. So, tú abrazos mi mucho. Necesito yo médica. Jugando. Buenas tardes, Egieri, y saludos, Andrea, y Paula, y ella. Now, Paula is es muy inteligente. Paula es independencia. Yo recuerdo mucho independencia. So, Jerry is Karina's brother, by the way. And Paula and Aja, those beautiful children are our nieces and nephew. So, Nix, your beneficiary is in Senegal. Okay, no problem. What kind of questions are you going to get? Well, how did your relationship develop? How many times have you met each other? How many times have you been to, in each other's presence? What do you do for a living? Where they could ask her, where is she going to live? What's her address in the United States? Does your beneficiary in Senegal, does she know the address where she's going to be living in the United States of America? Where's she going to be living? Let me slide over here. That's better. I can see the questions a lot better. What's her address? Now, don't write it on the computer because this is a public live stream going around the world to 100 and some countries. Even though we only got 4 people watching, that's okay. If I can help 4 people today, then that's good. So, another Mountain Dew salute to Nick for getting the appointment scheduled for December 10th, which is excellent news. And Jerry Martinez, buenas tardes, Jerry. ¿Dónde es Andrea? Andrea en casa contigo? ¿Dónde Andrea? ¿Dónde? Preparando cena para ti, preparando arepas, no lo sé. I don't know. What are you making for dinner, Andrea? For Hillary? Now, yesterday the live stream kind of crashed and burned. I don't know what happened to the connection, but that's only probably the second time in a couple of years that's ever happened. So, all I had to do was just reconnect. So I'm doing a live stream today to make up for the difference for missing questions from people yesterday. Now, if you have questions for me from yesterday that I didn't answer, here's an opportunity for you to jump on the live stream and I will answer your questions. K1 visa, NOA 1 to NOA 2 is taking about 6 months to get processed. 4 to 6 months is pretty quick. It's taking a couple of months to get the MVC welcome letter, and then the MVC will then contact the U.S. Embassy or the consulate in whatever country you're in to schedule the visa interview. Well, you're going to do the scheduling, but if they're not busy, if the embassy's not busy, the MVC will then mail the K1 visa package over to the embassy, and then you can pay the visa fee, the consular fee, and schedule your visa interview. So we're down to 1 person. So I don't know, maybe I'll just sit around and just talk to the hats hanging on the corner here. So Nick, I don't know if you're still online, but that's fine. If you're not, it's no problem. I just wanted to come on and answer questions from yesterday, which you may not have got asked because of the problem with the connection. But everything's working great now. I got my brother-in-law from in Colombia watching, and I just answered Nick's question regarding the embassy interview in Dakar, Senegal. Now we got 3 people watching. Kamai Mariatti, how long does it take for a green card? Let me see here. It takes about 9 to 10 months, 9 months to get a green card from when you apply, from the time of the biometrics. So what happens is you pay the green card fee, $1,000. How much is a green card right now for an adult over the age of 14? For the green card, this is how much it costs. $1,440, and that includes the biometrics. It's taken about 9 months from when you get the biometrics letter to get the green card. Okay, that's assuming that you put together a strong green card application. If you put together a very, very good green card application that's full of evidence of your relationship and your marriage and your cohabitation and your commingling of funds, and you got about 60 days worth of evidence that's strong, yeah. So hopefully you shouldn't get another visa interview. You should be fine and it's going to take about 9 months to get it. Now, keep busy during this waiting period. I know it's frustrating when you get to the United States of America and you cannot go to work. because you don't have your green card or your work permit. You got your social security number in your hand, but you cannot go to work. A work permit is taking about 3 to 4 months. Okay, and as long as you paid the fee for the work permit, I think it's $260, is it, or $265? I got to write that price down. As long as you paid the fee for the work permit and you included it in your green card application, it's going to take about 3 to 4 months and you'll get the work permit. But what I would do is, if you've got your I-94, which you should have by now, I would go get your social security number, and then you can go ahead and get that out of the way. And then when the work permit comes in and the green card comes in, then you can go to work. But you cannot work with just a social security number. Okay? If all you have is a social security number, you can't work with that. You got to have the work permit and or the green card. Okay? When you get yours, you're going to read on the social security card, it says not allowed to work without Homeland Security authorization. Well, what is the authorization that you are required to have? Well, it's a green card and or the work permit. Now, if you move, you don't forget, if you're a sponsor and you move, you got to file Form I-865, and your beneficiary has to file Form A-11. Okay, if you move. If you don't move and you don't notify USCIS, that could be a problem in the future regarding trying to get U.S. citizenship. Okay, it could be a denial. So what form are you going to fill out for the green card? You're going to fill out Form I-485, right? It's right here, and it's 20 pages long. Okay, the I-485 is 20 pages long. What else are you going to need for the green card? Well, you're going to need the 864, right? The 864 is the affidavit of support. The sponsor fills that out. And then you're going to have to repeat the medical exam and get a new I-693. I-693. Just repeat the medical exam. When Karina got to the United States, we arrived in Miami from Bogota, Colombia. I called the doctor up and got her a repeat medical exam. And then the doctor signed the 693. He certified the vaccinations, and that went in the green card application. If you are filing for a K-1 visa, Form I-129F, that's an easy form to fill out. You do not need an immigration attorney to put together a K-1 visa application. The form's only 13 pages long, but you must include lots of evidence of your relationship, how it started, and where you are right now before you mail off the K-1 visa. Kamal Mariatti, how long after you get your green card can you apply for U.S. citizenship? 3 years. If you are married to a U.S. citizen, it's 3 years from the issue date of the temporary visa, of the temporary visa. It's a temporary green card. Okay? It's a temporary green card. So you get your 2-year green card. You got it in your hand, your 2-year green card in your hand. You look on the issue date. You add 3 years to the issue date from the 2-year green card. 90 days before that 2-year green card expires, you're going to apply for your 10-year green card. Right? You're going to lift the conditions off of your 2-year green card. You get your 10-year green card. 3 years of being married to an American and being in the United States without any problems with the law, you didn't get any trouble, your American citizen sponsor has got his or her taxes all paid up to date, you notified immigration if you moved, you didn't get into trouble with the police, you didn't get arrested for anything, then you can apply for U.S. citizenship. If you get in any serious trouble with the police, then depending on what it is, it's going to be hard to get U.S. citizenship. Okay, if you're lucky not to get deported. I'm not saying that's you guys. You all do a great job. You're doing a fantastic job with your green card application. But when you come to America on your 2-year green card, when you apply, you get your 10-year green card after 2 years, and then after a year of being on the 10-year green card, you can apply for U.S. citizenship. Stay out of trouble and make sure you keep immigration up to date where you live, and you'll be fine. So the question is from Kamal, how long after you get your green card can you apply for U.S. citizenship? It's 3 years from the issue date of the 2-year green card. Okay? You got it? Nick says, thanks. You're welcome, Nick. No problem. And I'm happy for Nick. I know you were trying to get that visa interview scheduled in Dakar, Senegal. I remember now, it was like you were trying to get it done, and now you've got it scheduled and for December 10th. I got my brother-in-law watching us from Colombia. And Kamal, gracias. De nada, no problem. Con mucho gusto. Kamal, no problem. You will get your green card, okay? Lots of people get frustrated because of the wait time. They think they can apply for their green card. Lots of people, they think they come to America, they get off the plane, they get married, and in 2 weeks of getting married, they apply for their green card, and then they wonder why they're getting an RFE after just being married for 2 weeks, and you haven't submitted enough evidence in your green card application for your green card processing, okay? You don't want to file for your green card right off the bat when you get to the United States. You want to get married within about 2 weeks, and then you want to wait 50 or 60 days and put your green card package together. Don't be in a big rush. Oh, I got to get my green card. I can get to work. No. Don't be in a big rush. Take your time, and when you file for the green card, make sure you didn't make any mistakes in the paperwork. You're going to do this yourself, right? You're not going to pay an immigration attorney $5,000, $4,000 to put your green card package together. You're not going to pay a company $1,000 or whatever they charge, I don't know, to do this paperwork for you. You can do it yourself. It's not hard. If you can read and write, you can do this yourself. It's not difficult to do. You just got to be patient. So you get you just got to take time, okay? Don't rush. Orlando Lopez, what if the new administration changes the rules? Well, let's go over the rules, okay? Who makes the rules for K-1 visas? Who made the rule? Who makes the rules for the spousal visa? Who makes these rules for the tourist visa? And who makes the rule? Does the President of the United States make the rule? No, the Congress does. Only the Congress created the K-1 visa back in the 1970s because of Vietnam veterans. Vietnam veterans were trying to marry their Vietnamese promiscuous, but they couldn't because there was no such thing as a K-1 visa. There was no such thing as a K-1 visa. So back in the 70s, the Congress said, okay, we're going to fix that. So they created the K-1 visa. So if you have a K-1 visa in your hand, you need to thank a Vietnam veteran, because it was Vietnam veterans that put pressure on the Congress to create the K-1. Okay. So what will the new administration do if it changes the rules? Well, only the Congress can change it. Okay. And President Trump has already stated very clearly, you are welcome into the United States if you come through the legal process. If you follow congressional law, if you go to the K-1 visa interview, if you have a meeting face-to-face with a Border Patrol and Customs officer when you arrive, get an I-94. If your American citizen sponsor qualifies for the benefit, if you, Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary, qualify for the benefit, if you meet the conditions of the K-1 visa and the green card and the spousal visa, you're going to get it. President Trump is not going to block you from getting your K-1 visa. He's not going to do that. He wants to now, what President Trump's wife, Melania, where is she from? She's from Slovakia. She came to the United States on an H-1 work visa, I believe it was. And then she met President Trump, who was then a businessman, a capitalist entrepreneur. Then he sponsored her, just like you are sponsoring your K-1 visa beneficiaries, just like you are sponsoring your new wife or husband who you're going to on a spousal visa. President Trump sponsored Melania. She got her green card. So what does that tell you about President Trump? What does it tell you? Number one, he knows how to do this. He knows the process. And number two, he didn't block his new wife from getting her green card. He helped her get it. He sponsored her. He helped her get it, right? Through his job, through his business. So, is President Trump going to stop you from getting your K-1 visa? No. He's going to help you. Is he going to stop you from becoming a U.S. citizen? No. When you become a U.S. citizen, he will send you a letter of congratulations. If you get your U.S. citizenship when President Trump is in office over the next 4 years, you become, like Karina becomes a U.S. citizen in 3 years from now, President Trump will send her a letter of congratulations. Now, obviously, he's not going to be signing all these letters. He's going to have it will probably be an auto print, computer generated signature, but he's going to send a letter out, and you're going to get a letter. So I want you all to relax. Don't panic. You're not going to have your green card blocked or your K-1 visa processing blocked because of a new president. But here's the deal with President Trump, okay? If you are in the United States illegally, if you don't have permission to be in the United States of America, if you snuck in across the border, okay, President Trump's going to find you and he's going to deport you. Now, not him personally, but his team. President Trump is putting a team together of people, or he's already started the process. He's already being designated some land in Texas to put to install the mechanisms for this. If you are here illegally, in my opinion, and my advice to you is this: if you are in America illegally, go home, self-deport. If you self-deport, that will not create. It should reduce the consequences for you if you decide you want to come back legally. Okay, but if you are in the country illegally and Trump's team finds you, they will prosecute you. You're going to be put into the prosecutor, the file of illegals, okay? And trying to come back, you'll be probably blocked from ever being able to come back to the United States for 10 years at a minimum. So my advice to you is, if you're here illegally right now, go home, just take yourself home, and then go to the consulate and apply. If you want asylum, do it the right way. Follow the due process, okay? But if you are here in the United States right now with a green card, or you have a K-1 visa that's sitting out there waiting to be adjudicated by the service center in Texas or California or Nebraska or Potomac, wherever your K-1 visa application is sitting, okay? Let's suppose you apply for your K-1 visa in February of 2025. President Trump's been in office now for what, a month? Is your K-1 visa going to get denied or blocked? If you qualify for the benefit, no. The process is going to continue like normal, like it is right now. No change, okay? But the thing is this. You have to qualify for the benefit, okay? You have to meet each other. You got to be in each other's presence for face-to-face with each other, beneficiary and sponsor, at least once, okay, before you file for the K-1 within 2 years. You got to know each other. You got to be in a relationship, right? You should be engaged to each other at a minimum. You should have had an engagement party with proof of the evidence of the engagement party with photos, okay? And then in the photos, you identify who's in the picture, where the picture was taken, when it was taken. You want to have at least 10 pictures of an engagement ceremony, about 10 pictures of your relationship developing over time, and about 10 pictures of your latest trip to visit. So you want to have about 30, 40 pictures. I say 40 pictures to put in your K-1 visa application to prove your relationship is real. You got to meet certain income requirements. You got to be above a certain threshold of income, okay? You can't have a felonious criminal record. If you have a major felony, Mr. American citizen, if you got a felony, and that would be the time to have an immigration attorney review your record to see if you qualify for the benefit. But if you have a clean record, or you got minor traffic infractions, you got some speeding tickets, oh whoop-de-doo, you got minor traffic infractions, just if you qualify for the benefit, apply for the K1 visa, just like you would if Trump wasn't the president. He's not going to block you if you qualify. Okay? So relax, Orlando. Everything's going to be good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all this pixie dust all over everybody's green cards and K1 visas today. Okay? And I'm going to give everybody a Mountain Dew salute because you're all nervous about President Trump. Don't be nervous. Don't forget, President Trump's wife is from Slovakia, and he basically sponsored her. She came into the United States on a work visa. He sponsored her. She qualified for the green card because of President Trump, who was then Donald Trump, the civilian, not the president-elect. So it would be kind of hypocritical of President-elect Trump to block K1 visas when his own wife came here on a work permit, right? Right? He's not going to mess with it. Hannah. Hi, Diego. The estimated time of my green card on my USCIS account is stating current step 10 months for the case decision. What do you think about it? Well, I think it's going to be 9 months, and immigration is saying 10 months because they're trying to stop people from calling and blowing up the phones. What's the status of my green card? Why is it at? Why haven't I got my green card yet? So they add a few months to the end of the processing time because that makes it that puts a block on when you can call. Okay, so Hannah, look at it this way. Estimate about 9 months or less for your green card from when you file once you've received the biometrics. Okay, you get the biometrics letter in your hand. What does the biometrics letter say? Where is your biometrics? What day is your biometrics? What office you have to go to? Like Karina, my wife from Venezuela, my beautiful hermosa esposa is what I call her. She had to go to New Orleans for her biometrics. It's on Poydras Street in New Orleans. We live in Florida, so we had to drive from Florida to Alabama to Mississippi to Louisiana. She went to her biometrics. They took her picture, they took her fingerprints, and she had to sign her full name so that way they can protect her signature. And then she got her green card 3 months, 3.5 months after her biometrics. It was pretty quick. But her green card package was this thick. We had evidence going back from 2021 when we first started dating each other, all the way to 2024 when we got married. So we had a 4-year green card package, 4 years worth of evidence. We had 2 months worth of bank statements because the first thing I did with Karina was get her a repeat medical exam. Okay. We did a repeat on her medical exam for a green card by a civil surgeon in Florida who's certified by the State Department to give green card medical exams. He signed off the 693. He signed off on her vaccinations. We got her a Social Security card right away so we could get her on the bank. She become a joint account holder on the bank right away. So then we waited 2 months for the bank statements to come in with her name on it. We put her on the electric bill, the water bill, the trash bill, the gas bill, the sewer bill. She's on all the bills. The bills come in. I print them off. They come in on an email. If they get mailed to the house, it's to Diego and Karina Ross on the address. All those bills went into the green card application. Okay. She got on my medical insurance. When you come to the United States, Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary, make sure you get some kind of medical insurance with your sponsor and include it in the green card application. Okay. Get a Sam's Club with your beneficiary and sponsor. Get the sponsor and the beneficiary. Get Sam's Club cards. Okay. Or get library cards. You gotta prove cohabitation. You gotta show you live under the same roof. You gotta show that you are commingling funds. And you gotta show that you are equally responsible for the bills of the house, the apartment, the townhouse, wherever it is. If you live in an RV, you can live in an RV. If you're in an RV, live in an RV, and you got a PO box, that's fine. But make sure you can prove that you are living together in the RV, right? So immigration, what are they looking for with a green card application? What are they looking for? Cohabitation, commingling of funds, a real relationship, a wedding took place, you came into the United States legally. How do you prove you came into the United States legally? You include Form I-94 in your green card application. Form I-94, let me do a capital I-94. You include your I-94 in the green card package. If you don't include Form I-94, immigration is going to send you an RFE. Where's your I-94? You got to prove you entered the United States legally and did a face-to-face with a Border Patrol officer. You got to prove it. They don't take your word for it with a marriage certificate. There's people that sneak into the United States across the border in Canada, Mexico. They sneak into the United States or into Florida in a boat. They marry an American, and then they think they can live in the United States. But they didn't have a face-to-face with a Border Patrol officer, Customs and Border Patrol giving them permission to enter legally. So they file for their green card and they don't include the I-94 because they were never issued one. So what happens to that green card application? First, you get an RFE. Where's your I-94? You got to prove you entered the country legally. Well, I don't have an I-94, they say. I don't know. I snuck in. Well, then the green card gets denied and that person gets deported. Do you see how important the I-94 is? Okay. So let's see here. Hannah, it's going to take about 9 months for your green card at this point, September 26th, 2024. SK, hi, my USCIS account got uploaded that I don't need to attend the interview. Well, that's a Mountain Dew salute, which means only case decision is pending. How long will it take to get the updated information on the green card? Well, SK, how long have you been waiting for your green card? If your account has been updated that you went from schedule 3 to schedule 4, you just don't need an interview, then green cards are getting processed in about 9 months. So have you been waiting what? How long? 8 months for this? How long have you been waiting for your account to get updated that says you don't need to attend the interview? How long have you been waiting? 6 months? 7 months? I don't know. If you give me that answer and I can ask you a question. Okay, but congratulations, SK, on bypassing the scary visa interview. So you don't have to worry about it. You can bypass it. You don't have to worry about it. You obviously put together a strong green card application. You included everything that I basically put in the videos that I've made, right? And we got folks watching the channel who are getting ready to apply for their K1 visa. They tell me that they're nervous about doing this by themselves. Well, don't be nervous. It's not difficult. Applying for a K1 visa is easy. Applying for a green card is easy. You just got to qualify. You got to know how to read and write. If you can add and subtract, if you can add 1 and 2 together, you can read and write basic English, you can do this yourself. Okay? But I understand that the process can be confusing and the USCIS explanation of things is confusing. So I've tried to simplify it. Well, I haven't tried. I have simplified it with videos so that you can watch the videos on how to do this. And then that way you don't mess up and you don't have to spend a fortune to get your green card. You know, imagine if you spent $4,000 on an immigration attorney to process your green card paperwork. And what if the immigration attorney made a mistake in the paperwork? What if they made a mistake? They do. What happens if the immigration attorney makes a mistake? Number 1, your green card could be denied. Number 2, you could get an RFE, which is going to set back your green card application by what, maybe a month, right? You want to be in control of your green card application. You want to be in control of your K1 visa application. You, Mr. Sponsor, Miss Sponsor, you want to be in control. If you get an RFE, it comes to you, so you can respond to it. If you have an immigration attorney working for you, okay, and if you get an RFE, the RFE is going to go to the immigration attorney. So now you're depending on the immigration attorney to respond to the RFE. What if he doesn't or she doesn't? That's your beneficiary's life is right here in the hands of an immigration attorney. What you need to do is make sure your life of your future fiance's life is in your hands right here. So you control the process. And I don't know what this stuff is on my shirt. It won't come out. It's pixie dust right here. Try to take control of your green card application and your K1 visa application. Don't trust it to somebody else. SK, okay, thanks. I thought it would take only 30 more days to get the information about green card case decision. When did you, your question was, you're going to bypass the green card interview, right? You don't have to go to a green card interview with your beneficiary, with your new wife. You don't have to do that. That's good. I'm glad to hear it. But the thing is this, it's still going to take about 9 months to get the green card. Okay, right now. And how are you going to know that your green card has been mailed to you? Because if you're not going to go to an interview, it's going to be mailed to you. Where does the green card come from? It comes from Corbin, Kentucky. Okay. Who creates the green cards and the work permits? Who puts them together? Who makes them? Who makes these green cards right here? Who makes them? That's not a green card, but here's an example. General Dynamics are the company that make the green cards and the work permits. Okay, General Dynamics. They have a contract with USCIS in Corbin, Kentucky. They got about 400 employees, okay, that are working 60 to 70,000 green card applications. So you can understand it can take a little bit of time before you can get your green card in your hands. There's about 60 to 65,000 people waiting for a green card, which is what, a football stadium, right? That's like a football stadium full of people. But you're in your mind, you're like, well, I got to get my green card, which I understand. You want to get it, or your work permit. I understand you want to get it. But the secret to getting your green card quickly is put together a strong green card application and don't make any mistakes when you fill out the paperwork. And what are the 3 mandatory forms? The I-485, the I-693, the I-484, right? The affidavit of support. Affidavit of support, right? What is the biggest mistake that people make when the sponsor fills out the affidavit of support? What is the biggest error they make on that form? Does anybody know? Well, I'm going to tell you. The family size. They don't know how to figure out the family size. They can't figure it out. The question is, it's a complicated page, okay? It's a confusing page because they ask if you're married. That's the question they ask you, is if you're married. Right here. Okay, I'll go to it for you. See right here, this is the page that gets everybody in trouble. Now I can see if you can see it. This is the page where right here, the family size, that's where everybody gets into trouble. Now, you got a 1 right here. That's you, Mr. Sponsor. In this block right here, that's where you put the number of people that you sponsored. So if you are going to marry a lovely lady from India, 1 person, no K2 visa, 1 person, 1 goes right here. And then 1 goes here for you, Mr. Sponsor. So that's 1 plus 1 is 2. So you come to the bottom of the page and you get some white out. You white out the 1 that's automatically generated by immigration, and you put a 2 in there with a black ink pen. So your beneficiary goes here. Now let's suppose you bring in over 2 K2s and your wife, your future wife. That's 3 people, right? 2 K2s and your beneficiary. So 3 is going to go here. 1's going to go here. That's how many people? 4, right? So the family size is going to be what? 4. You're going to widen this out and you're going to put a 4 right here. So what goes in here? They ask you right here, do you have any dependent children? That's if let's suppose you are married, you were married in the past and you got your son or daughter's living with you from your American citizen wife who you're now divorced, or husband. That will go there. How many dependent children do you have? It's not the K1. It's not the K2s. Okay? This isn't for K2s right here. I can't. It's hard to see. Next question. Have you sponsored any other person before? So let's supposing you were married to a foreign national. She came over on a green. You got married. She had a green card, and then you got divorced, and she still lives in the United States of America. Even though you're divorced, you have to put a 1 in there as your dependent. She is financially your dependent, even if she remarries somebody. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the mistakes that people make on the 864 is trying to figure out the family size. Okay. So let's see what we got right here. So SK says, okay, thanks. I thought it would only take 30 more days to get the information about the green card decision. Well, if they've bypassed the visa interview, the green card interview, then all you're going to do now is wait for the green card. Okay? All right, guys, I've been talking for about 45 minutes or almost 41 minutes, almost an hour. I'll be back tomorrow with Karina. I just wanted to jump on the live stream and give you some more information in case anybody wanted to follow up from yesterday, because the internet connection went out. So I had to reboot the live stream. The live stream works fine, and I'll be back tomorrow to help you with Karina. Okay? And thanks for watching, and hang in there. Be patient. Don't stress the process. You can do this. Okay?